Folks, my part two of my video. This is why I go into race. This is why I say America doesn't want to deal with uh, uh, race and white supremacy in the sports and white privilege. They don't want to talk about race, in America. And race, it's about every part of America, even sports, folks, entertainment. America doesn't want to shy. They don't want to. Mark Lamont Hill, he goes into it more than me. He's an expert on this more than me. He goes into this. He explains it perfectly. Why there's so much controversy with Caitlin Clark. He says race and sexuality. It's actually more sexuality. Because what Jamal Hill said and Sonny Hoskins from The View was more about sexuality with the gay players in the WNBA. I think that's even a more trigger. Gay and black players. And there's some little homophobia going on here. Some of the commentary. I mean, you have to get real, folks. There's some homophobia. Besides anti-black racism going on. You know what I mean? With some of the other brothers sticking up for, well, they're going into this. I mean, they're attacking the sisters, NBA players, WNBA players. I mean, but most of these are kind of like, you call them sellouts or coons are doing this. I mean, but this is the aspects of it, race and sexuality. I'm gonna go into more race. I mean, to me, it's about race. I would say it's more race. I mean, for me, and that bothers me. No, that bothers me more. Sexuality. I mean, who cares if they're gay? I mean, come on. Stupid. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Who cares if they're gay? I mean, you're a good player. They're a good player. You don't know they're gay if you look at them. You could tell some of them are gay, but you don't know. When you don't know they're gay. I mean, they could look feminine and they're gay. I mean, they look different. I mean, so you don't know. So why is it, this kind of a homophobia? There shouldn't be this homophobia. But I can understand the racism, anti-black racism. You know, if you can see that, if you even try that, you say, they're not saying she's there because of she's white. They're all saying, no, it helps her. She's white. I mean, it promotes all the publicity, helps her marketing because she's white. I mean, but but they're all saying, critics are saying she's a good player, but it's over hype of her. It's like too much. They're putting so much on her. One player is too much. What if she does? She could be a big bust. There's so much pressure on her herself. Putting so much pressure on her. And so much hype, and this is about the sports media. Or they always do this. They hype up the white players. He explains white supremacy, and then but he never explained this. They downplay the black players, even like the opposite. Well, like Serena Williams, I think she was hated by the media. I mean, you look at it. So much controversy on her father. I think the media hated her. Like her fans loved her. Like the fans loved her, I think. But the media, especially over in Europe, the media hated her. They call her this and that, call her monkey. Call both the sisters. It's terrible. Get death threats. Like Angel Reese gets death threats. I mean, it's totally opposite to a black player. I mean, the downplayer, the talent. Like a black player, like she's in a, because she's a mostly black sport, NBA, WNBA, Caitlin Clark. Like Serena Williams and Venus, they've always been downplayed. They made it. I think they hated her. Like the comments by Chris Everett about Serena. I mean, unfair criticism. And then the refs, what you call the I guess the refs at the tennis school, the judge. She get on unfair rulings. I mean, she get violated. They give her some service violations. It's unfair. I mean, you don't normally get those. And it's totally, it's the total opposite. Like for a black player, on all white sport, the media downplays it. So-called mainstream media downplays it. Then the opposite in the white, and then predominantly white sport, they've been predominantly black sport, and a white player gets, a white, like so-called great player, superstar, he gets really hyped up, or she, like Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a GOAT, but I respect Tom Brady. But he was kind of hyped up, to say the least. But they respect Caitlin Clark. Everybody does. I mean, the black players. Some will hate her. They don't respect her, but I think they do respect her. Just that it's too much hype. It's overhype. It's too much. Let the woman play. Let her play her damn game and leave her alone. I think let her play her game. It'll be normal. They wouldn't criticize her. I think it gets worse that they criticize the people who criticize them and make it into a race. And they're race baited. And the so-called black people get into this. The black sellouts, they get into this. Let her play her game, do her thing, and she'll be fine. That's all. Yeah, folks, let's get on with this.
Well, there's been no shortage of think pieces on this. There's been no shortage of people who have decided to talk about what it means for Caitlin Clark to be a part of the conversation. One of those people who has spoken up has been Jemele Hill. If you don't know Jemele Hill is a very famous, very popular commentator, formerly from ESPN. She is now a contributing writer for The Atlantic. She is the host of her own podcast, which is amazing. It's called Unbothered with Jemele Hill. Jemele is a cultural critic. She's a basketball and just a sports expert, and one of my favorite people to watch because she tells the truth. She's honest. She's transparent. She's knowledgeable. I'm a big Jemele Hill fan. And so she commented on a piece that was written for the LA Times. The LA Times wrote a piece with the headline, Caitlin Clark marketing boom is celebrated, but also draws questions of race and equity. Again, not a crazy thing to say, not a crazy analysis, not a crazy question to ask. But you know, white people getting their feelings uneasy when it comes to questions of race. Once the race...
Oh, that's great, folks. Yeah, that's funny. Yep, to get in their feelings. Exactly.
Question pops up. White people get defensive fast.
Yeah.
Any race talk makes them uneasy. Any
Yep.
conversation about race becomes a conversation about racism. And any conversation about racism makes them feel vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right, Ford. He explains it more than I can.
And so the LA Times starts with this piece, by the way. This is not about Jamel Hill right now. This is about Kevin Baxter, who wrote the piece. He says, women's basketball has never seen anything like Caitlin.
See? So she was commented on the article. See? She was asked a question.
Clark, the sweet shooting rookie guard for the WNBA's Indiana Fever. She's Taylor Swift with a jump shot. She's Mia Hamm in a singlet. A figure so transcendent, she is changing her profession. Now, let's be clear. He's not wrong. Caitlin Clark is changing their profession. And she is Taylor Swift with a jump shot to the extent that white people love her. She is a darling of white America, and she is skilled, right? I mean, 55,000 people showed up to watch her play a practice game last fall. Her last college game drew 24 million TV viewers. For context, 24 million TV viewers is 3.5 times larger than the people who watched Serena Williams' last tennis match. Wow. She got a $28 million deal with Nike that includes a signature shoe. 3 million people watched ESPN just to watch her get drafted. This is what Kevin Baxter's saying. So she is a phenom. The question isn't that. The question is why. Now, there's her extraordinary talent, to be sure. There's no doubt that Caitlin Clark is special. But there's more to it. And the more to it is about race. The more to it is about gender. The more to it is about sexuality. This is the point that Jamel Hill was making in her commentary. Jamel was asked to comment for this piece.
You got folks? She was asked to comment. Comment.
And she said, and this is the interesting part. She said, we would all be very naive if we didn't say race and her sexuality. Let me bring this up, in fact. I want y'all to see it so y'all don't be actually making stuff up. I want y'all to see this. Can y'all see it? I don't know if y'all can see it, but yeah, y'all will see it. There we go. Y'all should be able to see it now. We would be very naive if we didn't say race and her sexuality played a role in her popularity. While so many people are happy for Caitlin's success, including the players, this has had such an enormous impact on the game. There is a part of it that is a little problematic because of what it says about the worth and the marketability of the players who are already there.
Bingo. Yep, she has a point there, folks. It says there, I was about to think, something popped up in my mind that said white type. White hope. It's like boxing, the great white hope.
Now, this shouldn't be a controversial statement. She didn't diss Caitlin Clark. She didn't say Caitlin Clark is untalented. She didn't say Caitlin Clark didn't have gifts. She didn't say any of that. She simply said Caitlin Clark is one thing, and we got to think about this other thing. But when you read the headlines, go to the New York Post, go to the Daily Mail, go to the Daily Buzz, go to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and read what they're saying. They're all dragging Jamel Hill through the coals, raking her across the coals, as if she said something crazy, as if she said something wrong, as if she said something offensive, as if she said something racist.
Yeah.
None of that could be further from the truth. What Jamel said.
Yeah, they're calling her racist. See? If you say something out, what's racist in the... This is a big point. The wider societal point, folks. And I see it with certain online political, on the left even, they do this right now. You say certain things, they call you the racist. You know what I mean? They call you the anti whatever, or anti-white racism. They call you anti. Well, it's really reverse racism. They call you on that. If you want to stick up, see, also they do not to black people, particularly black Americans. If you call out racism, you're a racist now. Call out white supremacy, you're a racist. It's unbelievable.
Was the gospel. She continues. She said, Caitlyn fits a very comfortable narrative for a lot of people in the United States. She comes from the heartland. She's an amazing talent. Amazing talent. I want y'all to hear that. She's an amazing talent. She's also a white, straight woman, right? There's not a lot of things that would make people feel uncomfortable.
It's the gay thing I'm talking about now, folks. Now, this triggers all the, I guess, the homophobes and the white Christians. They're going to trigger the white Christians. That's why there's so much backlash. And even the Daily Wire is getting into this. Because they're homophobic. Daily Wire, they get into this. So they're homophobic. They're attacking Sonny Hoskins.
With that person being successful. That's the point. That's the point. She's 100% right. That's the point. America loves rooting for white women.
Yeah.
America is rooted in a kind of white supremacy and a white patriarchy that puts white men at the top of the social ladder, but makes white women positioned on pedestals.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta understand this, folks. Understand what it is, what this system is. I mean, what the West is, not just America.
Robert Walker Murphy writes and says, Charles Barkley made a comment tonight. He didn't name Jamel, but he said women out there are being petty. There's nothing petty about having a critique of Caitlin Clark. There's nothing petty about saying that Caitlin Clark's popularity is partly due to her race. It just is.
Yeah.
So was Larry Bird's.
Yeah.
Larry Bird is one of the greatest players of all time. Larry Bird, for me, is a top 10, top 12 player of all time. Larry Bird was better than all them people that said Larry Bird wasn't good.
Exactly. Exactly, folks.
But Larry Bird's fame and popularity was also tied to the fact that Larry Bird was a white man. And the country wanted to root for a white man. And the country damn sure wanted to root for a white man playing against all them Negroes. That is simply how things go. We root for Tiger Woods in golf. Why? Because he's an underdog.
Some say he's black too. There's race there going there. There's race dynamic there too. But in that case, the media puts him down kind of. Until when he finally became the GOAT, they finally respected him. So there's a difference there. I mean.
Right? We love rooting for the underdog in this country. We love rooting for somebody who we don't expect to win. The Jamaican bobsled team, we rock with them. But let's be very clear. This isn't just about underdog status. This is also about a country that needs white women to succeed, that needs white men to win.
Yep.
And white men want white men to win.
Exactly.
And white men also want their white women to be put on pedestals.
Yeah.
A pedestal is not an ideal position. It's still a dehumanizing position. It's still a sexist position. It's still a patriarchal position. It's still a troublesome position.
Yeah.
All of that is true. I'm not romanticizing the real.
See? And this is the problem there, folks. He's going into what he's going into the problem. What's wrong with this when it's done like this? Like, this is the problem here, folks.
Challenges that women have faced in a patriarchal country. That is in society. That is absolutely true. But let's not deny the fact that what Jamel Hill is saying is 100% right and exact.
Mm-hmm.
America is rooting for Caitlin Clark because they love watching Caitlin Clark as a white woman come out there and Jada Negro's heads off. They love watching her make a no-look pass to another white woman for a layup in the middle of Bucket, Iowa. They love it. And when they played against LSU last year, and they framed the LSU girls, especially Angel Reese, as bad kids, as criminals.
See that, folks? And she got death threats. I mean, that's the year she won. After she won, year before this year, she got death threats. After she beat them, she got death threats. And the media didn't, just attacked her, the white media and some of the black media. Some of these same old black sellouts or coons attacked them. But George Barkley didn't, I don't think he didn't attack her this time.
As disrespectful to the game, as people who don't play the game the right way, as brutes, and they framed the Iowa squad as being the intelligent teams.
They're angels.
The cerebral basketball players, the X's and O's basketball players. Those are racial and racialized narratives.
Anti-black racism. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of their racism. I'm sick, folks. Sick of their damn racism. It's amazing.
That get codified in sports. How many times we hear they play the right way? It's very often racial.
Yeah.
Not always, but often racialized. The way people talk about it. Mm-hmm. And so, Jamel is just raising a point that yes, America wants to root for white people. They definitely want to root for a white woman against all these black women. And they damn sure want to root for a white straight woman in a league that has a lot of LGBTQ folk.
And this is another thing too, folks. This triggers a lot of other, evangelicals and a lot of black evangelicals. I mean, that whole homophobia that's going on here too.
This is the fact.
Yeah.
America wants to root for a straight white woman.
Mm-hmm.
That is the least controversial thing that I think Jamel Hill has ever said. She's 100% right. And yet, people want to pretend it's not the case. Look, Caitlin Clark deserves a $28 million Nike contract.
Yeah.
Why? Because people are going to buy them sneakers. It just makes sense. Does Asia Wilson deserve a sneaker contract? Yeah. Because she's so talented. She's the best player in the league. Of course she deserves it. And she got it now. Partly because Caitlin is there, drawing attention to the disparity. That doesn't mean that Caitlin did her a favor. Caitlin is doing Caitlin a favor with getting that money. But the point is that race and sexuality and gender matter in this country, and they damn sure matter in sports. And we can continue to pretend that it's not the case, but it absolutely is.
Yep, folks. Exactly right. Yep. It doesn't matter, especially race. Especially folks. That's why I don't really follow pro sports that much. I mean, you hear some of the comment, well, even this over in here, there's not just America. You look in Europe, the players are called, the black players in Europe, in the FIFA, the Premier League in England, not just England, but I guess the Premier League, When the other, I see you see most, not the Premier. I didn't say the Premier League. The other leagues happens more. They call names monkeys, gorillas, the N word. But this is not just America. I mean, certain here local sports show here, it seems like the black players are more criticized. I'm not gonna say, but anyways, certain sports show here where I'm at. But folks, you're absolutely right, folks. America doesn't want to talk about race in any event, anything, nothing to do with race. They want to talk, and they don't want to deal with history. I mean, they deal with certain history, but that's it. Now they're banning certain black history. Some of these southern states. I think Florida. I mean, when they ban with school boards, and they're taking it out. We can't talk about it. And critical race theory is not even taught, and they make sure they have bills that they won't be taught if it does. So America, they don't want to talk about race. Period. Not for anything. They don't want to deal with nothing. It's even DEI. They're now they want to get rid of DEI. Coming against DEI, the right wing. Even some of the left wing, so-called left wing progressives they'll get coming against it. Garbage. So-called socialists. Not even, honestly, well, some of them, not all of them, going against it. Certain online, they're totally against it. Some of these new left, like Jeopardy, Destiny, these other goofs. Vosh. So-called leftist, progressive, they're less white identity politics, their own politics. Only if it's for white people, it's okay, I guess. Yeah, so they get affirmative action, and then their DEI, they're against. So anything, even on the left, anything to do with race, is kind of forbidden. And it's getting worse, folks. Because race relations getting worse. And I'm going to end on a sad note. Sorry to say, folks, but I'm going to end on a sad note. Until the next video, folks.